okay, you're 69, I'm 56. Guys typically have a shorter lifespan. If anybody's building this bunker, it's me. So,
well, he wanted to hire contractors.
I see. Okay, that
they're
makes
expensive.
it all better.
Contractors are not cheap. So,
my goodness, it's crazy. So there's no precedent though, and there isn't really a precedent here either. So this is, for someone essentially just talking someone into it.
Well, look at the girl over the phone though. Remember, about a year and a half.
That's true. But everything is being contested in that case because she was a minor, and so everything's being contested in her case. I don't think she's going to end up serving much more time. In Australia, they didn't have any sort of precedent for it, so he's going to serve 10 to 14 years.
Wow. So the girl, though, just to back up to do an update on the story from about a year and a half ago where she goaded her boyfriend into killing himself over the phone, she's going to get off scot-free pretty much?
Let me see if I can never remember her name.
Yeah, just kind of curious because, man, that was such a horrible story because, I mean, she was like, come on, you should just do it. Just kill yourself.
Michelle Carter. Yes. Michelle Carter. She only got 15 months anyway. And her lawyer is basically saying that one, it was free speech, and two, she was a minor. And so some of those issues apply. And I don't disagree with that.
I don't know about the free speech. That teeters the line.
Free speech I don't agree with. But the fact that she was, like 16 at the time, your brain isn't as
that old yarn. So wait a minute. Wait. Hold on, Dr. Cole. So you can be 16, murder a crap ton of people, and say, my brain isn't developed yet, and get away with it?
No. No.
I mean, come on.
No.
Let's not give anyone a legal defense for later by accident here. No, you cannot murder people and then claim that your brain wasn't developed. It will not work.
No, especially in California. You're going to get charged as an adult.
Okay.
You're going to do 25 to life is what's going to happen. The only thing that's going to be better for you is that you might get a shot at paroling earlier than, say, wooden box.
Okay.
That's because you were a youth offender, but that's about it. No, it doesn't get you out of any sort of culpability. And I feel the same way about the kids in the photograph. There's a lot of impulsivity in youth. There's a lot of bad judgment in youth. Your brains aren't developed yet. But that being said, one was a crime and the other is just flat out hate speech and applies to large groups of people.
But
how great.
But we wanted to put those same kids, not to argue with you, of course, I'm not trying to be argumentative, but we want to put those same kids that are doing the Zkai thing, we want to put them in front of the firing squad.
No. I just don't want them to get into good colleges. Let me be clear.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So, I mean, it's one's death and one's just bad taste, really. I mean...
Well, one is like blatant racism and hate speech, and I don't think that has any in higher institutions. I don't think there's any place for that.
Yeah, I hear you.
They shouldn't get rewarded for that kind of behavior.
Exactly.
Right?
I 100% agree with you. There should be no reward for them for doing what they did. And do I agree with the young lady getting off pretty much really light for involving herself in this murder? I think that's completely a miscarriage of justice. Using my brain wasn't developed yet defense, I don't think really should. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing.
She got off kind of light in the first place, but part of that was because of the fact that there isn't really a precedent for it. You know what I mean? Like there's no law on the books essentially that says you can't, convince someone to kill themselves. There's just nothing on the books for that.
Hypothetically, Dr. Cole, let's just say I walked up to someone that's clearly mentally ill, has depression problems, is teetering on the verge of suicide, and I just say, you know what? Go ahead. Go kill yourself. Get it done with. Why not? All the pain will be over. Would I not be culpable in some extent to that person's death?
Yeah. Oh, I think you would. Absolutely. I think that, I think maybe sort of a depraved indifference type murder or a, criminally negligent or not negligent. I don't know. Manslaughter.
Well, manslaughter. I'm going to turn this to the wisest man in the room, of course, the senior member of the staff. What do you think, Eric?
Are you man old? I think that in the instance of a sort of gentle nudge, probably they'd get away with it. because how would anyone know anyway, right? I mean, if there's not evidence of it.
This is true.
When you get beyond the gentle nudge, like say with the girl who was convicted of it, that was repetitive and insistent, right?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that's a whole different story. And if it can be, certainly if it's documented, if it's written, if it's recorded, then that's a whole different story as well. Do I think there should be consequences? Yes, absolutely. If your actions cause someone else's death, even if it's tangential, absolutely you should. It's that to me sounds like manslaughter. You didn't intend. Well, you did intend. You didn't do the killing, right, but you induced someone else to do so. So to me, that's pretty similar to unintentionally but negligently directly causing someone's death. I mean, to me, those seem fairly similar. So if there aren't laws on the books for it, there should be.
Yeah, it should be like a murder through influence kind of thing.
It's very odd, and I think it's very tricky too when it comes to suicide in general, because I mean, unlike a lot of other people that do the job that I do, I do tend to agree more with the European way of looking at suicide. I do think it's more of a personal choice. I don't ever want someone to do it, but I also don't think it should be criminal. It's tough. I think we're very moralistic about suicide here, which makes it difficult for people to talk about. I think that's hard.
Is suicide a crime?
It used to be. And even in the prison system, they used to write people up
for killing themselves,
suicide attempts, for making suicide.
Oh, I was going to say, how do they serve that term when they're dead?
No, but up until quite recently, they used to write people up for suicide attempts, and I think it's very difficult when you're very, very moralistic about any sort of subject, and particularly suicide. I think Americans in general, it's never okay under any circumstances. It's a crime against nature, crime against God, and I just think it makes it difficult for people to talk openly, which is a big kind of cure for suicidality, is being able to talk about it.
There has been a huge, up in where I live, a huge just surge of suicide lately.
Oh, gosh.
And I've seen some young people, like 17, 18-year-olds doing it. And it's in the paper, newspaper. I'll check the obituary, just to look at the newspaper. And, you see these young kids, 17, 21, 25.
Well, isn't there a very strong viral aspect to it, a contagion aspect?
Kind of seemed that way, because there was kind of an influential girl that went to high school around here, and she was really well liked, and she committed suicide, and heartbreaking to everyone in the community. Next thing you know, it's like a rash of them after that.
There's a huge domino effect, is what they call it when it comes to suicides. It's like if somebody very popular, I guess, sort of opens that door, like when a famous singer does it. When you talk about like the lead singer of Linkin Park, things like that. It kind of opens doors for people. They go, well, if he can do it, then I can do it. And I think one of the reasons people are really kind of bad at at least in America, we're bad at stopping that domino effect, is because we stigmatize it so horribly.
Yeah, that person really must have been nuts. Yeah,
and just say things like, oh my God, that's just never okay. And I can't believe with everything he had that he would do that.
What a coward.
Yes, and that's stigmatizing. My gosh, it's like there's nothing. That's the other thing too. Like, is there anything inherently wrong with thinking about it, with having those thoughts? No, of course not. Most people have had those thoughts at some point in their life, and if you haven't yet, statistically speaking, you probably will. I hate to say that, but most of us, people go through it, at some point, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. And the more wrong we make it, the less able people are to talk about it, but the more likely they are to do it.
Well, I personally have struggled with depression many times in my life. Yeah, and there have been times where I have, just a peripheral thought, just a really quick fleeting thought is, man, it'd be a whole lot better just be dead.
Oh, definitely. I think, I have too. I have depression and anxiety and OCD and, just a whole lovely cornucopia of things. And I mean, I've definitely had thoughts like that at times in my life that have been particularly hard. And there's nothing strange about that.
So you're not alone. Anyone that's thinking that way, you're not crazy, alone. You're not nuts, you're not alone. We all, each and every one of us, most of us, if you're a human being, a feeling, thinking, empathetic human being, you're going to have thoughts like that from time to time. And it's absolutely okay. Just don't act on them. If you feel like you need to act on them, or if you are going to act on them, reach out to a friend, a family member, police, anybody that will listen, anybody, and get that help that you need. For me, it's always been, when I've been feeling down, it's always just been friends. You know, you kind of talk about a little bit, and that gets you through it. But not everybody has a support system. So, and if you're really feeling down and out, you can always email us up over here afterhoursam@gmail.com, and we'll definitely hook you up with help that way too. So we cannot end this without talking about the reptile shop owner busted after slapping people with his bearded dragon.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a terrible euphemism.
It does. Here comes the dragon. So
this is a bit of an older story, but I hadn't read it and I had to share it. So there was a Florida man who was arrested for slapping employees with a bearded dragon. He's facing multiple charges. So Benjamin Siegel, the owner of Ben Siegel Reptiles
in Florida, yep,
in Florida, he was seen on tape throwing the lizard in the air, swinging the reptile around, and throwing Gatorade on employees, and putting the live lizard, in his mouth, and then hitting employees with it multiple times. Now, there's no video.
What?
So I don't know how this happened exactly.
How did he hit him with it when it's in his mouth?
I don't know, Joel.
Multiple times with the orally staged lizard.
I so want to know. I don't know. And so he's charged with battery, right? And cruelty to animals.
Bite down too hard.
Yeah, cruelty to animals. But the thing that really made this story just come alive for me was that Siegel's store had also made headlines back in 2012 after 62-year-old Edward Archbold died shortly after winning a live cockroach eating contest held by the shop.
How did he die from eating cockroaches?
An autopsy found that he choked to death after his airway became obstructed by cockroach parts.
Oh, icky.
Really?
Oh.
I mean, he could have won
a
free
tombstone. The tombstone.
I don't even know what that would say. Oh, God.
Oh, gosh. You know what really bugs me about this guy? No.
Oh, man. And I'm thinking, okay, so this shop had been cited before after holding this live cockroach eating contest that ended up killing this person. Like, did you not think cruelty to animals might be a possibility then?
Yeah.
I guess no one cares about cockroaches.
I guess not. Where are they in the hierarchy of animals?
They're not really like animals. Yeah, they're insects, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, if that were the case, we'd all be in jail for killing spiders.
I wouldn't tell anyone I did it, but I still would
sometimes I'm pretty proud when I take down that spider because they're kind of feisty sometimes.
Oh, I'm in Black Widow country. I mean, we get into it out here.
You do. It's almost like a hand-to-hand combat with them.
They're pretty big sometimes.
You're up to your elbows in Black Widows. Black Widows and cockroach parts.
Yeah. What a combination. Oh, yeah. Just like Mom never made. Good. Wow. On that note, we got to get out of here. We come back. We're going to be talking all things arson. Really, how arson is used in crime. And it's more prevalent than I even thought. A lot of different ways arson is used. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, Tom Bodette. If you can hear me, then you have an internet connection, which means you can do cool things online, like listen to streaming radio, obviously, or watch a video of a monkey washing a cat. Let your freak flag fly. Or you can book a room at a great price at Motel6.com. Isn't the internet wonderful? Everything you want right at your fingertips, and whoa, did not need to see that. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone. So